What it do, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm so excited to talk to you guys about makeup that I already have my opinions on. Yep, this is gonna be a makeup roundup where I talk about quite a bit of makeup that I have been reviewing either on camera or off camera for the last month or so. I try to give myself at minimum 2 months, or at maximum 2 months, to get out another video. Sometimes that just does not happen with my schedule. I have a lot of other content that I already want to film, or the few days that I can film, this is just not a priority. So it kind of weans and wanes, but I think I did pretty good this time, and I think it was like at least a month, if not 2 months ago, that I did a wrap up. So I'm really excited to talk to you guys about all of these items. It's not a lot, which I prefer. I feel like I usually have an obscene amount of items, and then this video is an hour long. I'm trying to keep these out videos a little bit shorter. So without further ado, let's just dive on in. So first things first, I want to just kind of get a whole brand out of the way. This is a brand that I talked about in an dedicated video, and I don't really want to belabor the topic. This brand is Half Cake Makeup. I have all of their items in this little kind of container, and I will say, when I was doing that video, I realized that there were 2 items that I completely spaced on reviewing. So I'm gonna review them really quickly, and then everything else I will just ask that you guys just go to that video. Even if you skip to the very end where you see the reviews, I'll give you a general review on the brand, but if you want dedicated reviews on each item, go to that video. So I completely spaced on the brow pencil, and just as I said in the first impression, this brow pencil is quite thick and extremely pigmented. So for me, it's not a favorite. That said, it's not something that I can't get use out of. It's just one of those things that I have to remember I'm using it when I'm using it. Does that make sense? So for example, my full face today, I did a makeup look using the items that I typically will reach for when I am prepping to go to work if I put makeup on for work. This would be an item that I would put in that kind of collection, because that is a collection that, like, it's not a preferred product for me. It's not a product that is terrible. It's not a product that doesn't work. It's just not something that I want in this space. So this would go over there. And so that's kind of the vibes of this particular product. Then I have a brow gel from them as well. Nothing wrong with this brow gel either. It just doesn't really hold my brows very substantially. I don't find that it really takes off enough product on the doe foot, which is unique. Usually I find the doe foot has too much product for me. This, I find there's not enough product, and I thought that because the doe foot's so small, even though there's not a lot of product, it would really shellac my brows. I don't find that to be the case. So overall, when it comes to this brand, this is unfortunately not a brand that I would say you really need to try, especially if you're my skin tone or deeper. I just find that a lot of the products aren't great. If you are drier skin, or if you like a very shiny cheek because of the blush is, I think, one of my favorite products here. Otherwise, a lot of these products are really hit or miss for me personally. But like I said, I definitely would strongly recommend you go ahead and watch that video. That video shows you all of the steps for me trying the brand, having the brand for a month, and then of course my final thoughts. And there are 2 tutorials in that video, so I highly recommend. I'll be talking about the eyeshadow palette for the brand later when I finally have a 5th product, or a 5th eyeshadow palette to do an eyeshadow palette roundup. Then let's just dive into everything else. I will try to do them as I always do, which is by steps. So like all the primers, all the foundations, etc. But if I miss this product, I apologize already. So there's only one kind of primer-esque item, and honestly, this should have been reviewed while ago. It probably just got stuck in the bottom of my review kind of organizer, and I did not realize. This is the Juvia's Place kind of dupe of the Charlotte Tilbury or the Auric Glow Lust. I have this in the shade 3. I actually like this. I think this is even better than the Auric Glow Lust for my skin type. That said, I love that there is a doe foot on here, so I don't find that I really have to get my hands messy. And I definitely think that this will be kind of the alternative to the Auric Glow Lust in the current routine that I use the Auric Glow Lust when I declutter those, which will probably be at the end of this year because they are extremely old. And this is a newer product, so I want to go ahead and start getting my use out of it. It's a really good product. I would recommend if you are somebody who is into that kind of category of products. Basically, it gives you a very thin veil of illumination. It doesn't really give all that much coverage. And you can use it as a base. You can use it as a highlighter. You can use it for a lot of different things, whether you want to add some sheen to a foundation that you already have. There's a lot of different ways to use that product, and it just depends on if that's a type of product that you get use out of. I would definitely recommend going for it. Otherwise, I wouldn't recommend it. One more primer that I almost forgot about, and this is the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. This is actually a decent primer, I will say. I think that it does the job, and it's a decent equivalent or kind of comparison to the Milk gripping primer. That said, I definitely prefer the Milk. This one is not as gripping though, so if you're somebody who does not like a lot of grip or a lot of tack on your skin, I would recommend this. This is a little bit more liquidier than the Milk as well, whereas the Milk has some substantial gel in it, so you can really elevate your hand and it's not really going to trickle, whereas this one, it's trickling even if your hand is horizontal. So it kind of just, once again, depends on what you're interested in. This is a good product and I definitely will use it. I may even start using a primer for my kind of work full face. I don't think so, because then it's getting like I'm basically doing a full face of makeup, and that's not what I want. I want a short kind of quick routine, but I definitely think that is something that I will easily get my use out of and my money out of. If not, if a friend really needs a primer, I can easily kind of send that to them because it's a product that I use, I know, and I did not contaminate it with my own stuff because it's a pump, and I like to kind of send non-contaminated stuff to friends when they need certain products. They'll hit me up, and if I have it, I'll send it their way. Okay, now for real, let's go into foundation. Alrighty, I have two foundations, one that you guys have actually seen, the other I never actually got around to editing the short. Maybe I will edit the short by the time we get to this video, and then I'll have it kind of on the screen for you guys. But the one that you guys have seen is the e.l.f. Soft Glam Foundation, and I have this in shade 53 Deep Natural. This is a beautiful foundation in my opinion. Absolutely stunning. If you are somebody who wants to do something very affordable that does not cost a lot, I don't think you'll get a long period of time where you can really use this. This is a fluid ounce, so depending on how much foundation you get through, you could have this for kind of your typical length of foundation if you're somebody who tends to go for high-end or luxury when it comes to your foundations. And this is very, very affordable. I absolutely love this foundation. This is a foundation that immediately will be going into my top drawer at the end of this video. I've been meaning to put it in there. I just had to get my review out. You guys saw it on the initial application. The color match, fantastic. The application, great. Although it's not as kind of skin-like, glowy as I've been reaching for lately, it still has enough glow and it gives enough kind of a dry down that it lasts quite a long period of time. This is a foundation, once again, when I'm in this period where I'm kind of wearing foundation on and off for work and my shifts are quite long, upwards of 11 to 14 or 15 hours. This is a product that I would feel comfortable wearing. I think it definitely has that longevity and that stability that will last a decent amount of time. But within that also, I get this finish that I want. Whereas right now, my finish is not necessarily as kind of glowy as I personally want. I would have to add some more setting sprays here and there to really get what I want, or let the foundation or the product that I put as my base to kind of break down a little bit more before I get that finish. Right now, like my face right now feels quite dry, and that's because the finish is quite dry to me and where I'm at right now with my makeup. So that is all information that I kind of configure, and eventually I'll find a perfect work routine, but right now the work routine that I have is really good. And like I said, I would not hate to put this in that kind of section, and I use that for my work makeup either. Another product I actually wouldn't hate to use for work makeup, although the finish, or not the finish, the color match is not the best. This is the Sigma Beauty tinted hydro, or the hydro tint. Oh, this could also be something that I use in my foundation week. I haven't reviewed this officially on my channel and showed you guys. I will do that. So this is their hydro tint, and this is in dark golden tint. I believe this is their darkest shade. I believe if it's not the darkest shade, it's the shade that I felt was most appropriate for my skin type or my skin tone. What I will say is I feel like it is I picked the right range of tint for my skin tone, but it's not perfect, if that makes sense. It definitely has to kind of like, I don't want to say oxidize, but it has to adjust to my skin tone once I like blend it out. It's definitely not something that I'm going to be trying to build up to get a lot of coverage. I think overall it's a decent tint. It does dry down though, so that is something, once again, that's not my preferred. But yeah, I will definitely be going ahead and giving you guys a foundation review on this in my foundation week coming up. I'm slowly getting the foundations and then I'm testing them out. That's the first one that I have my full final thoughts on, and there are a couple others that I plan to pick up during the Sephora savings event that's coming up in the first week of November. So once that hits, I will have all the foundations that I plan to do. Honestly, I might have a little bit more than a week's worth, and we'll see what happens then. But that's definitely one I already know and I haven't showed it, so why not? But yeah, like I said, that is a product that I feel like I would recommend more for normal, if not even people who are oily or combination that like a more mattifying finish. This is a slightly too matte of a finish for me. And then also, like I said, know that the range is going to be something that you have to take into consideration, because you're probably not going to get obviously an exact match because it's not a foundation, it's a skin tint. So they're giving you low to medium-ish coverage. I wouldn't even personally build this up to medium. I'm perfectly comfortable with that low amount of coverage, and just building up coverage in the spots that I want with a concealer, like I did with my makeup today. So this is good. I'm so glad we did this, because this would have stayed here and I would have reviewed it and I wouldn't have thought to add it in my foundation week. Keeping it going, I only have one concealer, and this is from e.l.f. and this is their concealer in the shade Deep Cinnamon. This is quite orange compared to my skin tone. It's pretty much a corrector for me, and I find that this is quite a lot of coverage. I don't like this amount of coverage. This, I would say, is easily full coverage. For me, that's just too much. It's too thick, too cakey, and I don't particularly like it. I like the hydrating aspect of it, but I find because there's so much coverage, it's just too much of both. I just need one or the other, not both. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Really quick and easy on that one. Not a preferred for me. If you like full coverage and you like something hydrating because your under eyes are quite dry, which mine are, that would be the go for you. Even for the little amount that I've applied to my face, I find it's still just too much coverage. Okay, let's go into bronzer. It looks like I only have one, and this is from NYX. This is their Buttermelt bronzer in the shade Do Better. And for me, I think this is a really good product. Is this a product that's gonna make it at the height of all of my products? Probably not. But if you're somebody, once again, who wants drugstore makeup, I definitely think this is a solid bronzer range, and it has quite the range overall, because this is definitely not the darkest shade, which I definitely appreciate. It just, you know, it's not my preferred. I think that the formula is good. It's a nice soft formula. It picks up easily. It applies easily. It has good undertone range, in my opinion. Not the best, but not the worst either. Really good range overall. Definitely something, once again, that I would recommend to friends who either are only drugstore beauties or who want something from my collection. I would easily give that, knowing that it's going to be a good product for them that lasts them quite a long time. But for me, it's not going to surpass my House Labs. Like, it just can't. It can't. It can't. I'm sorry. Next, let's dive into cream blush. I only have one, so it's an easy topic. And this is About Face, and this is their Cheek Freak. Is that, no, that's the formula. The shade is Big O. I don't know why people didn't like this formula. This formula is great to me. I absolutely love it. I think that it applies fantastically. It's like a baked gelée in my opinion, although it's not. It's definitely domed and it's definitely a creamed, but it applies similar to a baked gelée product where you pick it up and it applies straight up as a powder once you pick it up. I really like this product. This would be a product that for me, I would easily go ahead and pick up all of the shades that I actually like in this whole range and not feel any type of way about having it, because it's a good product, in my opinion. I am thoroughly impressed with it, and I'm genuinely surprised that this did not make, the rounds on social media. It wasn't very popular. To me, it's a great product. I would love to hear what you did or didn't like. It is quite pigmented though, so if you're somebody who is of a lighter skin tone or you just want less pigment, maybe go in with a very subtle hand. It's not as bad as the Rare Beauty liquid blushes, but it is quite pigmented even for a cream blush, which I love cream blushes. If I did not say, I prefer to reach for cream blushes rather than liquid blushes. Alrighty, going into the powder cheek products that I have left. I have two blushes, and these are both from the Odin's Eye collection, their last collection that I picked up. So this is the Lilac Mint shade, and this is a full-on matte formula for this one. And then the other one that I picked up is Solar Eclipse, which is more of a shimmery blush. This is quite shimmery, I will say. You either need to go in with a very diffusible brush and extremely light hand, or just use it as a highlighter. One of the two. You really can't, in my opinion, use this as a blush topper. It's quite shimmery, and I'm somebody who's very comfortable with a shimmery blush. This is even quite shimmery for me. Otherwise though, fantastic formula. I knew the formula was going to be great. I've already tried the formula previously. I just wanted these shades. That's the only reason why I made this order specifically for these cheek products. And then I also got one of the highlighters from them in this range, and this is in Light Glory. They're saying it's a blush, it's a highlighter. It's a highlighter. It's great. It's great. I love their highlighters. Nothing wrong with them at all. Really great formula. So overall, once again, another good bang for my buck. And I'm loving that there's nothing really that's a fail in this kind of roundup so far, other than the half-caked kind of. Alrighty. Keeping it going. Let's see what I want to talk about next. Let's do the kind of oddballs out. I have two brow products. So the first brow product is the OYS Brow Gel, and this is fine. It's fine. Don't get me wrong. It's fine. But I don't find that it's, really shellacking the brows down, really doing what it need to do. I think it's fine. And that's all I'm going to say. Unfortunately, I don't think it really lives up to its name, which is called Secure Brow. I personally don't feel that. I feel that for me, the e.l.f. is a little bit better. Out of all of the brow products that I've talked about today, when it comes to brow gels, I think this is the best. It very much is giving the Too Faced brow gel, and I appreciate that. I will say the one con about this is that the product is quite literally white. I think that that's the color when it's not dry, and then when it's dry it goes more clear, because I never really saw any issues with that. But I will say, if you're somebody who puts on too much gel and then you immediately leave your house, you may be looking a little crazy, and or if your brows are really dark, you might look crazy using this. So keep that in mind. But otherwise, this is actually the best out of all of these brow gels, and this will probably be what goes into my work collection, because out of all of them, that's the one that I actually really want to get use out of, if that makes sense. The other ones, or I could save that one for here. So many things. Because I don't really want like the full-on shellac look for work. I'll save that one for here because I'm getting close to finishing up my NYX brow gel. Keeping it going. I have two more kind of oddities, and then I have lip products. The one oddity that I have to talk about, and this is literally left field, is a hand cream. This is something that I picked up randomly from Sephora. I don't even know when, probably months ago, probably during the last Sephora sale. I've been wanting to try L'Occitane's hand cream because I know Lauren Bay Beauty always raves about their hand cream, saying that it's a really good formula. And for me, I do think that this is a good formula. It's a lot thinner than I was expecting, but sometimes those thin formulas can really get into the skin and moisturize the skin. That said, it's not very greasy, which I think if you're somebody who does not like the greasy kind of texture, this is definitely a hand cream for you. But for me, even for the little bit that I paid for this, I would not pay for that. I would just use my Bath and Body Works points and my rewards, and I would just get hand creams for free. Personally, that's how I would rock it. But I definitely do think that this is a good hand cream. It's just not one that I'm gonna see myself like actively purchasing. Maybe I'll pick up the bundles. I know every holiday they usually have a set at Sephora, but otherwise I don't really see me actively buying their hand creams all that often. The last oddity that I have to talk about is the Singe Beauty sponge. This is actually really good. I shouldn't be so shocked because I've been thoroughly enjoying their brushes, and pretty much everything that Angelica Nyquist that I have picked up has released, whether it's with brands or now by herself, I've enjoyed. But I must say, I thoroughly enjoy this sponge. It's really, really nice. This isn't completely dry. It does get a decent amount bigger once it's wet, and it's a decent amount of squishiness. It's not really dry. I don't find that it takes up too much product. Overall, I would highly recommend this sponge. If you are somebody who, you are on the website already, you're thinking about getting her blushes, which also really nice. I still haven't tried all of them. That's why I haven't reviewed them, but I want to review them all together. Those are really good. Her brushes, great. I have a range of them, both from eyeshadow to eye brushes to cheek brushes. Really, really nice. I know she said she's releasing probably something else before the end of the year, so hopefully I can get my grubby hands on that. But overall, the brand, I'm giving a huge thumbs up. I actually really like the brand overall. Now, let's dive into the lip products that I have, because I have a smattering of lip products to talk to you guys about. First things first, I have a lip liner. This is from Tower 28, and this is in the shade Color Me Fine, I do believe. This is a decent formula. I don't have any really negatives to say about the formula. What I would say though is that this is quite literally a pencil. So if you're not somebody who's into the pencil lip liners, this is not for you. You definitely need to sharpen it because it literally is a pencil. You will see at the back, it literally looks like a pencil that we grew up using in our younger years. If you are of my age or older, that is. But it basically is a pencil. The formula is, like I said, fine. And the color is pretty much my skin tone. So depending on how you love or hate that, it's a good formula. Don't hate it. It can blend, so you can do a little bit of an ombre situation. If the lip product is really light or really dark, that definitely can work. And yeah, I don't hate it. I don't love it. I would still continue to reach for my Makeup Revolution or my Makeup Forever. But maybe this will eventually make it into my work collection of makeup outside of this collection of makeup. Then I have just a smattering of lip kind of colored pigment products. So I have two kind of lip oil, lip balm type situations. So this is, I believe they consider this a lip oil. Yep, a lip oil from Colfi, and I have it in the shade Caramel. I actually really like this product. So it's a very thin, watery formula, and although I wouldn't say it gives the biggest stain, this is a brown, of course, and I am of a brown complexion, so I don't expect there to be a whole huge amount of stain. I actually like the formula. The glassing or the kind of oily part does wear away quickly, but for an oil, I find that it lasts a decent amount of time. If you're wondering my opinions on oils, balms, and lip glosses, I have a whole video dedicated to that where I talk about what I expect of each category, and then I give you my tops at that time. And if I can remember, I will have that link down below as well. So overall, in my kind of expectations for lip oils, that Kulfi item does it. Maybe not the staining aspect, but it's probably the shade. I'd need to get a different shade to see if it will actually stain correctly or kind of what I would expect. I did get a new lip oil from Luna Beauty when I made my order from the brand, and it's exactly what I expected. I absolutely love this lip oil. I love all of their lip oils. I'm just disappointed that this was the only one that I knew I would get use out of that was in stock. If they ever restock some of my favorites that don't have any color but have that scent, I will definitely be stocking up. Do I need to? No, but I love those products, and those are products that I can easily throw in purses. And you know, every so often I go on a purse splurge and I need new purses. No, I need new lip balms to put in said purses. Okay, merging in, I think this is actually a lip oil as well. No, they call it a glaze, so let's call this a lip gloss. I have two lip glosses to talk about, one from Haus Labs, and this is actually a decent formula, I will say. I don't think this formula really got a lot of praise or really a lot of recognition, but I really like this formula. This is in the shade Praline, so of course it is a brown, and it works perfectly for my lip combinations. I can throw this on, I can throw this in the purse. This is quite slender, quite small, so all of my small kind of miniature purses, that is the perfect size for. And the formula is not bad. I don't think this is one of those formulas that if I wear it constantly kind of in equivalent to a balm, I would get chapped lips. I think this is a really good formula. But when I get to that phase of using it, I will give you guys more information. This has just been tested out here in this space here. And that is a different application than I would ever test before reviewing the product, because that's not the purpose of the product. Its purpose is to be used as a lip gloss. And as a lip gloss, it's great. The other lip gloss that I have to review is actually something I've already had before. Well, I've had the formula before. I've never had this shade. This is Fussy. I got this in a gift from a family friend for their bridal shower, and I gave my mom the other shade. I think the other shade was a clear, and I knew she'd get use out of that and like the brown. I think I only took one shade from it. Or maybe this is the last shade in that set. I don't remember. I just remember that it was a trio, and I know I gave her one shade, and this is the last one. This is the pink Fussy from Fenty Beauty. It's a nice shade. Nothing really to write home about for me. I do love the formula though, and once again, because it is a smaller size, I know I will get a lot of use out of it, whether it's in this collection, outside, and I have tried this formula as more or less as a lip balm, and what I will say is that it does build up. You'll get that ring of depth, and you'll have to kind of like wipe it off every so often, but otherwise I did not find that my lips got chapped. They just kind of had that ring of depth permanently when I was using it as a lip balm to kind of get through it. The last product is actually a product that was sent to me, so it works out perfectly in case you don't like seeing reviews of products that people have sent to them. And this is from Queen Musea. And what I will say is that this already smells bad. I don't know why. Maybe they just didn't put any form of like preservatives in their product to kind of get rid of that scent. But I already have the crayon scent from this. The actual lipstick I find is not hard, but is thick. Like you really have to warm it up on your lips to get an application on it. The shade that I have is Adia, and it does on my skin tone read a little bit red, which for me is not a love. It's not a love at all. It's like a ready pink. I don't love that. I know my mom prefers a lot more of like a true classic red, which I bow to her. I could never do that. That's just not my vibes. But I will definitely keep this in my collection because this is definitely a unique color for my lips collection, because I really have gotten rid of pretty much all of my colors. I really only have browns in my collection. That said, formula wise, I'm not a huge fan personally. I definitely think that there are a lot more other formulas that out there, rather a drugstore. You can get that Maybelline, you can go to Elf just to get a different formula outside of this one. I love that this is independently owned. I love the packaging. I think it's really, really cool. And I appreciate the brand for sending me this and their mascara. But unfortunately, I just don't think that either of the products work for me. That mascara had me have an allergic reaction, and I do not have time for that personally. Like, I just cannot go through another period of allergic reactions. I can't. I really can't. And this product, it just not perfect, you know? It's not perfect. So yeah, that's it. That's the video. I hit at about 30 minutes, which is a record for me in these videos. I'm so happy. I hope that this roundup was helpful for you guys. If you have any questions about any of these items, definitely let me know. I always try to link every item down below. For the half-caked items though, I will just link the video down below, and in that video I have all of the items linked. I hope that's okay. It's a lot of items to link. It is. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.